again? What?
On the, there was a word I found and I was trying to,
Was it DAIS?
it's, I had it on the bottom of page 6, but I
I
don't
had
see
it
it.
on the bottom of 5, DAIS, I didn't know what that meant.
Oh, let's see. They must excuse themselves. That's supposed to be the dais, but I'm not sure that, I honestly
yeah.
can't tell you if that, how to spell that word, so I don't know that we actually made that edit at all, but,
Let's see.
we can check it. Well, you guys wanna go ahead and let's call the meeting to order and then we can talk about it when we get there?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'd like to welcome everybody out to the, our BZA meeting for well, actually February, our January meeting we're having in February. And I appreciate everybody that we moved this so we do not have to make excuses of Valentine's Day. That's what, you caught my hint, and, you know. Yeah, I would hear it from my wife if I was at a meeting on Valentine's Day. To call the meeting to order, Mara?
I'll tell you what, it's Myanna, like
Myanna?
your Anna, Myanna.
Myanna.
Yep,
Could you call the roll, please?
absolutely. Mr. Schuman,
Here,
Ms. Howard,
Here.
and Mr. Macbeth.
Here.
There's only 3 members, so you do have a quorum.
Yep. All right. Well, can I get a motion on to approve the minutes? Everybody had a chance to take a look at the minutes from last time? I didn't see any changes that I could see.
You know, I reviewed them and I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. I'm not gonna have a hard time with it. Would you like to call the roll, please?
Sure. Mr. Schuman, Ms. Howard,
Aye.
and Mr. Macbeth.
Aye. All right, that comes down to the reorganization of the BZA. According to code, as we all read in here, I've been chairman now for this, my second consecutive time, so my name cannot be put in the mix, so I would take those who want to put their name in the hat for becoming chairman.
I'll nominate Mr. Schuman.
That's fine, I don't mind doing it.
Okay. And then we also have, so we have appointment chairman, so Mr. Schuman's name's been put forward. Any second? Well, I guess I can second that, all right? I second it. Myanna.
There you go. Myanna, you got it.
Can you call the roll, please?
Absolutely. Mr. Schuman,
Aye.
Ms. Howard,
Aye.
and Mr. Macbeth.
Aye. All right, now we have a voice, appointment of vice chairman. No, that was you? No, I can't, who was vice chairman last time?
I think it was Mr. Schuman.
Mr. Schuman? No, was it?
Let's see.
See, you know, it's hard because we never meet.
I don't meet once
remember.
once a month.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Mr. Macbeth, you were the chairman, and Mr. Schuman, you were the vice chairman.
Okay. So we have openings of vice chairman.
Does anybody's time run out?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
The terms, I did not look at them.
Got them printed out downstairs if you want me to get them.
I mean, I was just curious to know.
Yeah.
This year, like, do any of these 3 run out?
I believe Macbeth, September 23rd.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I thought it was this year, because I've been doing it for 5 years.
Okay, well, in that case, I'll nominate Ms. Howard for.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
vice
gonna
chair.
do that anyway. I second that.
All right. Let's see.
Maya,
Myanna.
please take call the roll, please.
Sure. Mr. Schuman,
Aye.
Ms. Howard,
Aye.
and Mr. Macbeth.
Aye. All right. The to, we got discussion on the concern of the BZA bylaws.
Yeah, so, there was really the only item that we, wanted to bring up here tonight is that the way that it currently reads, the process that we go through is every single month we have a BZA meeting, and
Mhm.
then we have to cancel them.
It should be the
So,
other way around.
it should be the other way around, yes. So
Yeah.
we struck through here on page 5, under
Mhm.
section 1.9A, regular business meetings. So we struck through, unless otherwise designated, regular business meetings of the BZA shall be held on the second Tuesday of each month, beginning at 6 PM in the council chambers on the, well, it didn't even have the right floor there, right? The second floor of Town Hall. So we struck through that, and instead we wrote, regular business meetings shall only be held if there is a caseload of one or more cases. If no cases, no regularly scheduled meeting of the BZA shall be held.
Mhm.
The meeting shall be noticed per the Code of Virginia, section 2.2-3707. And then the meetings, when scheduled, shall be held on the second Tuesday of the month in the council chambers unless an alternative date is, and that should say requested, to obtain a quorum of the voting members. So that gives you all the flexibility. We'll try to keep it, if something does come up, we'll try to keep it on the second Tuesday, so you can schedule that out for your year. But if an alternate date like tonight was suggested, we could also meet that way. So it gives you all flexibility. If we ended up with a case this year, and it doesn't force the staff to continuously cancel meetings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense to
Okay.
me.
It makes perfect sense.
And the other tiny edits were just some spelling things that we found in the code, and then, yeah, we had mentioned, like, now it's called the Community Development Director as
So you
the,
gotta pull this.
that position, and we didn't change anything else in the,
Yeah.
in the regulations.
Yeah, just a
so.
couple typos.
Yeah.
All right.
Do we need a motion to change that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll move that we change the bylaws as suggested.
I second it.
Okay,
Maya, you wanna call the roll, please?
sure. Mr. Schuman,
Ah,
Ms. Howard,
Aye.
and Mr. Macbeth.
Aye. All right, discussions and announcements, do we have any?
I guess the only thing I will say is the planning commission worked very diligently over the last year and a half, to amend the entire zoning ordinance. So we do
Yeah.
have a new zoning ordinance that's been adopted. Right now, it's, if you went to the online version, it takes a while for it to actually get uploaded. That happened, January of this year. And, you know, some of the key things that changed, I guess, and Kenny can definitely add anything, but some of the things that people were most interested in were short-term rentals. We're now allowing them instead of the homestays and
Yeah.
all the other strange kind of things we had. We added a zoning category so that if somebody did want to do a higher density development, because we had questions about that
Yeah.
for affordable housing. We also added landscaping code, so if you do a development now and you have a parking lot, or, you know, you're on a street, now there are some landscaping requirements.
Okay.
What else did we do, Kenny?
well, I think one thing that, it didn't change a lot, but a lot of the verbiage in terms of, you know, what the setbacks were, how big, what the density was, is now in graphic form, and it, as far as I'm concerned, it's much easier.
To figure out.
If somebody wants to look at that, it's much easier to determine uses are much easier. They didn't change, but they're graphically there, so it's much easier. Now that we did make some changes in the old historic district,
Yep.
but again, we had 13 different little areas and narrowed that down to 5. I don't think it changed anything materially, but it's an easier ordinance to use.
Yeah.
I would, I guess, and I'm always skeptical, but I would guess that what at some point we're gonna hear is that people are gonna come forward and say, I didn't know about that.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
but we had public meetings, public hearings before the council. The folks who worked with us, the Berkeley group, I don't know how many trips they made to Abingdon, but a number.
Yeah.
So
It should also clear up a lot of things, so.
I personally think it should, because it's just easier to find what was out there. I don't know that I think it changed a whole lot in that, some, but not a lot.
Some, and it'll be a slow thing over time, like when you add a higher density, land use category, you don't always see it right away, but then there could be a chance where someone comes in and wants to build a, a more intense development. The other one we added was cottage housing, so that is where you basically have small individual units on a small piece of property, and you arrange them in a way that they basically act as single-family condominiums, is how I look at it. So,
That's interesting.
yeah, people own the house, but they don't own the land. That's
Right.
under common ownership. So we added some clever, I would say that for housing affordability, we definitely opened it up. We added as many things as we could to give people options, and less restrictions for that, so. But
Yeah.
that'll take time to see a change in the community, so, yeah.
And we actually had developers come and talk a good bit about what they would want.
Mhm.
So I thought we had good input on that.
Yeah, it was a great process, so.
Very good.
The only other thing I have is we need 2 more members.
Yeah.
I asked Cam today, I said, is there no way that, planning commission members, and so we looked it up, and the state rules don't allow,
But only one.
Only one,
Yep.
yep. So, if you all have anybody that you know that has an interest, I know it's hard to attract people to a once-a-year meeting, but if you did have to go through the process, we'd wanna have, a good solid board, so,
Well, I stayed for 5 years.
And you get, and you get big $10 for coming.
there you
Yeah.
go. So, yeah, if anybody, I will tell you that I had a funny thing happen this year where somebody called and asked how much we pay our BZA, and, they're like, our BZA wants more money. And I said, well, I'm not sure that if they're trying to look for more money, that ours is gonna push them up into the
Yeah.
average, cause
No.
I'm like, we only pay $10, so.
Which is $10 more than you get if you're on the planning commission.
That is
Right.
true.
In
And a lot less
fact,
work.
the BZA is about the only one that gets.
Correct,
funds.
yeah, yeah. And I think that's because you're quasi judicial, so,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, that comes.
Well, I was told years ago that, we changed that tonight, but at one time, there were some folks who insisted that they meet every month.
I
And
see.
they would call the
Yeah.
meeting to order, they would have no business, they would adjourn, and they'd get their $10.
That's right, yeah,
Well.
I heard about that too. We didn't do that when we first started. But I
And
did hear about it.
I did look up, I think, Mr. Macbeth, you went through the,
Oh, yeah, I'm the only certified BZA person.
certified BZA
the town has
person.
ever had.
Yeah, so we actually have it on our calendar, and I looked it up today, so I
Yeah.
think that if you wanted to become, go through the training for, a zoning official, that happens in June, and we can register in April. So when we get there, we'll probably send it out to all of our board members, if anybody wants to go through that training process.
Yeah.
Because then you would be more ready. I mean, if a variance came in today, you'd probably say, yep, this is what I learned. So it's just a thought out there too.
I
Yeah.
took the 40-hour course for certified
You did.
commission planning.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back, gosh, it's been a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was through Virginia Tech,
Yeah.
Okay.
and they actually had Mike Chandler come
Oh, wow.
here, and he did, the way it worked, there was an 8-hour meeting, and all the planning commissioners had to go, people on the council went, and then you had several weeks of homework,
Yeah. Okay.
and then you had,
And
the
then
final
come
was
back.
an 8-hour.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's similar to what the BZA is. We went down, we actually went to, I think it was Richmond, went
Okay.
there, and spent the week, 2 days there, and then you came back, did a bunch of work, then you went back again for a couple
Test.
days.
Okay. Yeah, well, we'll send it out in case there's people who are interested in.
Yeah, but I was surprised when I got back and found out it was the only one the town has ever had. And I'm going, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I've got, so unless
Yeah.
anyone else has anything.
All right, well, if that's, anybody else have any things to go?
Nope.
You know what, I'll make a
Here-
motion to adjourn.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, hearing none. I have a motion to adjourn,
So move.
so moved.
Mr. Schuman,
Yep,
Ms. Howard,
Aye.
and Mr. Macbeth.
I
Adjourned.
agree, let's go.